Rise and shine. It's your morning marijuana motivation time. Your host with the most is Marky Saint. This is Saint's Addiction. I got it right here with me. Got our motivation every morning. Go live, loving my life, getting other people to love their lives, recognizing that life is a blessing. Today's the power that we have, and if we get our minds together properly, we get to develop the future that we want and let go of the past that we don't want. And this morning, we're going to talk about these little habits that develop us into better people. We might not know it, but it's happening. And then we're going to get into the show. Somebody cue the intro. Let me get in here. Yes, bless. Your boy Marky say, let's get some motivation in here. Eventually, this is going to be some motivated juice, right? So, doing weed off shirts, launching websites, getting things together, getting a 420 festival together. Summer weeds coming soon. Everybody's coming together, making this culture come together, and cannabis culture and everybody that's in on it, so that way we can work together. This is how we work it. So let's get after it, shall we? Corey got his car not working. Oh no, I hope he makes it. These little habits, they'll change your game. I chose this one as my addiction, and I gave up the rest. Sometimes I even give up this. Sometimes I'm just happy and I don't need to blank out 4 hours or run away from my problems or need it to feel good inside. Woke up this whole morning without smoking. It's not the first thing in my mouth. I actually ate before I smoked. There's a lot of things in addiction that we don't know what happens, right? We don't know what's going on with us because it just happens, right? We'll just get into it. Next thing you know, that's our situation. And you're wondering, how did I get these results? How did I get this far? And it's these little habits that has been adding up. And I've been talking about since cue this video when we talk about our responses, healthy, active responses. And turns out, if we all up in our feelings, these little habits show up. And that's something that we don't really calculate because we're going from feeling to feeling. And that's something, like I said, we talked about this other video, but when you're going from feeling to feeling, there's not a lot of logic to it. It's going to be a whole chemical warfare going on in each and every one of our heads that says, hey, you got to get right. So like when I do this in the morning and people want to get right, they go right back to their habits of like, what's my get right habits? And just like little monkeys, we learn that. We learn that if we go to this watering hole, it's going to be safe. If we go to this tree, we're going to get the right fruits. Well, that's what we do to ourselves. We do this all the time and go, okay, you want to feel right? Go grab that cigarette. These little add up. They tell us that they make us feel better, right? This is what addiction speak is that our lives have been full of trauma. Something has gone wrong in and inside of us as when we were children, and we had to figure out a way when we were very young to get ourselves right. And these mechanisms that we use, even they can't even be a substance. They could be an emotion, and they also can be a reaction. And that is so crazy that we get taught or learn from a young age, and we keep that as our only lesson to how we're going to endure life, right? Like how are we going to respond to anything that's happening to us? So if a lot of us abuse people, we run to other people to feel more safe, right? We go into weirder crowds, we do weirder drugs and everything else, so we just don't feel as weird as we are. And then there's something inside of us that says, okay, let's go get that soothing feeling that we get from alcohol. Let's go get that soothing feeling we get from weed. Let's go get that soothing feeling we get from cocaine or whatever else that we like to ingest. It's also a feeling. The drama is real too. When you go like, hey man, I don't feel so good. Why are you watching death shows, true stories, murders, and all those other things out there, the digestion of the mind? And that's what we do. We'll go into things in ourselves. It will go like, this is what placates me. It could be food, it could be sex, it could be art, it could be all sorts of things, but that's what we do. We go back to the same thing that worked because that's what we learned with our little monkey mind. We go, hey, as long as I swallow this alcohol, I'll be fine. We're hiding it behind our issues, right? We didn't fix them since we were 7. We hid behind them behind habits. And that's why we had to have this conversation this morning, because this is my Saint's addiction. I chose this habit. I was like, sometimes I go without it, but I had to pick one of the habits that wasn't destroying me inside, like cocaine or alcohol or what else there's out there. You know what's out there. Do whatever you're doing to placate yourself is eventually chipping away at us, and we become slowly addicted to our patterns. We just don't even notice it because that's like, hey, that's who I am. This is what works for me. And we stop giving ourselves a chance. This was when we were 7 and 10. Now we're 30 and 40, and nobody's giving themselves a chance for a new habit, a new way of approaching their thoughts instead of their feelings. This is something I've been learning recently because I've been all up in my feelings my whole life, but this is most of us. Most of us like, hey, what you say? Can't wait to say something back. Like I was watching the Wayne Dyer thing, and he was like, hey, stupid, and you're the one that turned around. Why are you the one turning around? Why are you the one engaging in things unless you believe in those things? So if someone's calling you fat, if you believe you're fat, then guess what? You're going to interact with them that way. It's going to apply to you. You're going to wear it like I'm wearing my little Saints brand hoodie, you know, rise and shine. Gotta get that rise and shine on. Gotta get that rise and shine on. You know, like this is what we do. And it's so weird because we're not making it healthy or helpful to us. We're just like locking ourselves behind habits and addictions and slowing our own selves down. It's like you made the decision, but you made the decision out of feelings. You're like, I feel a certain type of way, so I gotta run to the bar. I feel a certain type of way, so I gotta fuck somebody. I feel a certain type of way. I don't want to feel lonely, so I gotta put somebody in my bed or inside me or inside them. And that's what we do. We look for the energy that makes us work. We're pleasure seekers, right? All of us. It's just what our brains are referred to. As I was learning earlier from another scientist through the TED Talk is the 5 chemicals. There's only one chemical that's for negativity, and that's cortisol. So we have serotonin, endorphins. What's the other one? Help me out. I'm getting high now. Serotonin, endorphins. Help me out. Oxytocin. Dopamine and something else. Anyway, my point is there's cortisol on the other side. So there's 5 to 1 issue over here. And it looks like that's what we're doing. It looks like we're doing that we try to put it inside of our heads. So much pleasure. There's so much out there like, hey, let me go get some sex. That's going to make me feel good. Hey, let me go get some chocolate. Let me go get some food. We use these outlets to pacify ourselves. And it's all out there. They'll let you purchase your way. Dude, notice I'm never ever pitching my church like, yo, buy now. No, dude, that's for Saints giving. That's what that's all about. I want you to give back. I don't need you to purchase. I want you to give forward, okay? Anything on our sites, a give back to Saints giving anyway. So please do what you got to do. But do it with the intent that you're going to be fixing yourself, okay? Do it with the intent that you're not longer controlled by an old habit, but by a new way of thinking. This is going to be tough for most folks. You're going to have to flip it. That's what we do over here at Saints Addiction. We got to turn our negatives into positives. We just got to do that. Life's handed us a brick. We got to throw a touchdown. This is our lives. So when we see lemonade and other people are seeing lemons, don't be surprised. This is what's happening. I just made that rhyme, by the way. Rhyme and motivation. But anyway, my point to this was that you could take something that you've been doing since your childhood probably and say to yourself, here's the new habit. Here's the new healthy habit, the healthy changes that I can make in my life to divorce this other thought, these negative thoughts that we've been doing. I talked about that the other day too in a video. Divorce these old thoughts and get ourselves into a new pattern, a healthier pattern, one that works for us in our brains. And each one of you know what I'm talking about. So if it's getting away from lethargicness, if it's getting away from excuses, right? If it's getting away from procrastination, this is what we're going to have to break up with to move forward. Then let's do it, because those are easy ones to break up with. Those aren't the ones these are little habits, that we can go inside of ourselves and battle and get a better outcome from. So I'm not talking just about substances. I'm not just talking about emotions. I'm talking about habits, little ones like being defensive when people say something to us, or taking on things too personally, or negative thoughts inside of our heads. If we add something to it, we can battle these things. Then we can start winning some rounds on this game called life. And that's what I was just trying to give to you. So don't just be a victim to your emotions and your habits and your addictions. No, I want you to be saintly. I want you to glow. I want your halo to turn on and start feeling the love. Feel love to yourself. That way you can love others and give that love to them. Show them love. Don't be a dick. Show them love. Give them something that they can aspire to, and be grateful that you're around. Be a better human. That's what we're going to be. So being a better human, that's Saintly Way. I hope you have a blessed day. If you got anything out of this message, do like, share, and subscribe. And then that way you can be bright and light every day. Ciao.